Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Football Stooges. Today we have the XFL Week 3 wrap-up, Week 4 prediction, and the AFC North post-season wrap-up and grade for those four AFC North teams. I'm your host, Lob City. This is going to be a fun episode. Maybe not a fun episode with some of the recent news coming out of the Queen City, but it is what it is. The Bengals will eternally be, in and out of, jail. So it hasn't changed since the Maluga, Domata Peko, and Vontaze Perfect days. So what's new? Anyway, moving on to the rest of the crew that I can't do without. Introducing the one and only Philly man himself, Mastodon.
You can suck it loud for calling me old. God damn it.
There's a meme coming up. There's a meme coming up later that might do something with Breaking Bad, and if you know about the news that's coming out, you might know what's coming. But at the same time, we were talking about it. Masson said, I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was a freshman in college when it came out, and I'm like, God damn, you're old. And then that started a long tirade of fight that might involve Masson showing at my doorstep with a baseball bat and me leaving with no kneecaps. But hey, it is what it is. Well, I can be happy about Kane scored his first Rangers goal, so we're off to a great start. Next up, the one and only Chicago man himself, Mamba.
What's up, boys? Aaron Rodgers is going bye-bye. See you, boys. Yeah, you're gone. You're gone. To the Jets. You're gone.
Jets. Following in so if he's going to the Jets, that means he's going to be following in Favre's footsteps, which means he's going to be on the Vikings at some point, which is something the one and only Gorlami doesn't want to hear.
Nope, I'll drink the pain away.
I mean, you gotta see what Jordan Love has. You gotta see what you got, Mr. Jordan Love.
Yeah, we'll see what he does. I don't know. The jury's still out in Jordan Love. He hasn't played a ton. He should be given a chance, but at the same time, it's going to be hard to take a chance if Rodgers is still there. So we'll see.
No, but the Chicago Bears are getting a new owner then.
Oof. I don't know if I go that far. Just quickly.
It's the Bears. It's not that hard to beat them.
And the one and only resident Patriots fan, K-Duff.
Yes, the one and only out of all of New England.
Out of all of New England, yeah.
All of New England. I gotta say though, I don't know what is it. I can't fucking talk. I don't know what it is with fucking AFC running backs this year. Like we got fucking Joe Mixon, and with the Salts. You got Lamar Jackson rejecting salaries.
Yeah, AFC running back.
Oh, you meant running back?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he is a running back. Isn't he?
I love Lamar slander here. I love it as a Bengals fan. I love it. You know what I also love is an absolutely great week of XFL football. And we're gonna start out with a game that made me happy to see.
I'm sure it did.
My goodness, my Seattle Sea Dragons destroyed the Vipers by 4, a big 4. It was a big 4-point game, 30-26 in Las Vegas. A nice win for the Sea Dragons. Their first win of the season. They're 1-2. The Vipers fall to an abysmal, winless 0-3. Not great.
My
for
poor
them.
Vipers.
Yeah.
My poor Vipers.
Ben, we'll start out with the stats for the Sea Dragons. Ben DiNucci, the Italian Paisano, 29 for 37, 377 yards, a 10.2 average passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 1 sack, only for a yard loss. He also ran 32 yards 6 times. The other rushers were Morgan Ellison, 17 carries, 103 yards, and TJ Hammonds, 2 carries for 8 yards. A big day for Josh Gordon, 6 receptions, 118 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The only touchdowns were scored by Blake Jackson, 5 for 44, and Juwan Green, 1 for 22. Another big day also for Ja'Cour Pearson, 7 for 99, and Jordan Vize, 4 for 63. Ben DiNucci, again, still hands are real slick. I don't know if he has a Kenny Pickett problem where his hands are, a little small or what, but 2 fumbles, 1 of them lost, 1 of them he did recover. So that's the biggest issue it looks like for him thus far. But otherwise, a great game from Ben DiNucci. 29 for 37 for 337, 4 touchdowns, only 1 pick, and a 10.2 average is insane. That is a great stat line.
Yeah, he had a fantastic game, but then again, every game's a fantastic game when you're playing the Vipers, as it turns out.
Shots fired.
Isn't this the first 100-yard rusher in XFL right now for this
Could
season?
be.
Probably. This was the first game played, so if this was the first 100 yards, that's the first one. So hats off to Morgan Ellison. Decently balanced attack, even though there's 377 yards of passing, 143 yards of rushing is still quite a bit, especially for the XFL, which tends to be a very modern league. Moving on to the Vipers. Brett Hundley, 13 for 28, 224 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, an 8-yard average. And then he also ran 66 yards on 8 carries and had 1 touchdown. Also carrying the ball, Rod Smith, 10 carries, 41 yards. DeAndre Torrey, 5 carries, 5 yards. Sinquez Sweetening, 1 carry, 3 yards. John Levitt, 5 carries, 3 yards. And Jeff Bidet, 1 carry, 2 yards.
Bidet.
Yep.
Like
Bidet led Bidet also led in receiving, 4 receptions, 93 yards, 1 touchdown. Levitt, 1 reception, 50 yards, 1 touchdown. Matthew Sexton, 3 receptions, 45 yards. Cam Sutton, 1 reception, 19 yards, and everyone else had less than 10 yards receiving for the Vipers. Not a great performance from them. If we look at the team stats down a little bit further, the total plays were about even, but yards per play, total yards, first down passing, almost everything was in favor of Sea Dragons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hell of a game for them.
Yeah.
Turnover. Yeah, there was. Seattle had 2 turnovers. That's the only thing. But
so to me, this looks like, the Vipers couldn't stop the Sea Dragons except for a few times they caused turnovers, and then on offense they couldn't get anything going super well. So it feels like, I don't know if there's one side of the ball that is an issue for them. Time of possession was going to be even. Time of possession was 30-51 for Seattle, 27-09 for the Vipers.
For the second worst team in the league.
Yeah, this was a bottom feed game. So
such a laughing stock. Ben DiNucci was laughing in the middle of the game at them.
Yeah,
proof in the chat. I just linked. We believe that's him mic'd up. Just got like a almost serial killer sounding laugh, like. Let's
see. Open this.
Yeah, I try to open it. It's not.
Oh, that's broken.
Yeah, page not found. Yeah. Okay. Page not found. Interesting. All right. So, yeah, Sea Dragons get the win. I mean, again, these are 2 teams that were both undefeated entering this game. So, good for Seattle to get a win. Hopefully they can continue it. And the Vipers, oh, boy. I would start asking Aaron Rodgers if he wants to play for you guys, because right now your quarterback situation doesn't look great.
I mean, they currently have a former Packer as a quarterback. Is it that bad to get a new
it could
one?
be worse.
How many former Packer quarterbacks have worked out? Does Favre count? Honestly, Favre was probably the last good quarterback the Jets have had since Joe Namath.
I thought.
I don't know. I mean, Mark Sanchez.
I thought they had someone in the
bring Mark Sanchez. Are you kidding me?
I thought that was fumble, but he did also get them to an AFC Championship appearance.
I thought someone in the late '90s or early 2000s, not Chad Henne, not
Chad Pennington.
That's what I was thinking of.
He had like 2 good years, and then he was ass.
I know, but like if you're going by other standards, like
I was
so
scared you're going to say like Vinny Testaverde or something like that.
Oh. I mean,
no, I am not gonna say that one, but no.
In the history of Jets quarterbacks, the best one's obviously Namath. The next best is probably Favre, and after that, it's probably Testaverde.
Testaverde.
That's not a very high ranking. Gotta say.
I mean, who else?
I know.
Zach
when
Wilson?
We're talking about the Jets, yeah. Oh, I would.
I've been sawn in half by Matt Milano White.
The thing is, though, Mike White was doing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, when your O line lets the the modern reincarnation of like Mr. T come through the center of the line and saw you in half, you're not going to do well.
Well, it's also the Bills' defense. I mean, and so what do you expect?
I mean, the Bills' defense didn't look that good against the Bengals in the AFC divisional game.
Yeah, I feel like it's more their secondary being suspect, but
possibly. But yeah, all in all, a great win for Seattle. 4-point win against the Vipers. Next up, this will load. My goodness. There you go. Week 3.
Wait,
no, not week 3. Oh, yes.
The XFL site automatically throws you down to the current week, which is cool, but also at the same time, like,
shout out to my defenders handing the Battlecocks their first loss of the season.
Yeah. DC 34, St. Louis 28. DC sending AJ McCarron back with his first loss on the season. As opposed to the other game, this was a game between two undefeated teams. Two teams entering 2-0. Only DC leaving without a loss, winning 34-28. A great game played by them. We'll start with their stats. Jordan Tamau, 11 for 20, 196, 1 touchdown. He also ran for 22 yards on 10 carries and a touchdown. Derek King also came in late in the game, 3 attempts, 3 completions, 3 attempts, 14 yards, and 1 touchdown. Carries was Abram Smith, 54 yards and 16 carries. Raquel Armstead, 11 carries, 51 yards. And Derek King, 2 carries, 9 yards. For receiving, not many players here, but all had pretty good numbers. Lucky Jackson, 4 receptions, 89 yards. Chris Blair, 2 receptions, 62 yards. Josh Hammond, 3 receptions, 30 yards. Abram Smith, 3 receptions, 16 yards. Ethan Wolf, 2 receptions, 13 yards. They had some problems with fumbles. 1 fumble lost by Jordan Tamau, and then 2 lost by Raquel Armstead, who was their second leading rusher. So they had some issues, which allowed for the Battlehawks to get back into the game, but at the same time, it was not enough, them eventually losing. The Battlehawks stats here. AJ McCarron was their main quarterback. Had an interesting day, 26 for 42 for 262, 6.2 average, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks, and took 4 sacks. Brian Hill, 11 carries, 32 yards on the ground. Mateo Durant, 4 carries, 18 yards, and McCarron also ran 2 times for 6 yards. As far as receiving, there's a lot of names on here, and a lot had pretty big days. Hakeem Butler, 9 receptions, 105 yards, and 1 touchdown. Darius Shepard, 5 receptions, 51 yards. Brian Hill, 4 receptions, 49 yards, and 1 touchdown. Jake Sutherland, 1 reception, 23 yards, 1 touchdown. Steve Mitchell, 3 receptions, 17 yards, 1 touchdown. And Austin Prohl, 2 receptions, 12 yards. As far as the fumble category, Mateo Durant and AJ McCarron both coughed the ball up to the enemy team once apiece. So the turnover game seemed somewhat similar. Both of them gave up the ball pretty evenly. And as you look in many of the stats, it's even or led by Seattle. Yards, passing touchdowns, sacks allowed, sack yards lost.
Seattle.
Not Seattle. St. Louis. But this defensive touchdown scored by DC was the big turnaround for them, eventually allowing them to get the win. This was a high-powered XFL matchup, and I think when it came down to it, it was the DC defense that was able to get the right stops at the right moments to give themselves the chance.
The beer snake helped.
Oh, yeah, the return of the beer.
The beer snake and those lemons, man. Golly.
Yeah. I gotta say, though, Battlehawks had a pretty decent passing attack. I mean, you had 4 guys up there that had highs of 20-plus yards, or their longest catches. So on the day, so.
Yeah.
Probably also hurt them as they didn't have much for on the ground.
No.
Yeah.
Just goes to show that you just got to run the ball sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Weren't they down for most of the game though? Like they had to come back, so it's like.
Well, if you go up to like the main score, I think it shows.
Yep.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, they were down. Looks like most of the game, and a couple double-digit round quarters for the defenders. Definitely helped them seem, but try to stay steady with it. But like we already said, that defensive touchdown probably just put the game away for them. So.
Yeah. I just think that this really shows the capability of the DC defense, because I think even with this performance, I still feel like I don't think I've seen any player be more dominant than AJ McCarron thus far. Like, yes, Ben DiNucci had better stats at this game, but what is it now, 3 weeks of the XFL, AJ McCarron has been putting up solid to great numbers. He's not had a bad game. And even this, 26 for 42 is still above 50% completion percentage, which is pretty good. 262 yards and 4 touchdowns with 2 picks. That's still pretty good. Like,
Very good.
I mean, way too early. I still think he's a front runner for the XFL MVP.
I wouldn't say that's too early. I mean, the NFL pedigree he's had definitely helps out a bit with that. He's definitely probably one of the more complete quarterbacks in this league compared to some of the other ones we've seen that are either been career backups, haven't really cracked an NFL roster.
Most of the guys on this list have either been second or third. Most of them third. So McCarron is what you would consider to be a really good backup quarterback, a guy that can get in and can win you games, kind of like a Chad Henne was for Kansas City. He's really good with the film. Yeah, really good with everything else. I mean, he played at Alabama, was amazing there. So he definitely is head and shoulders above in the mental part of the game. And I mean, he can still sling the rock really well. Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up back in the league after his contract's done here.
I mean, I think he will. I mean, we talked about last week, the main reason he wanted to go here is not only to play football, but for his family to watch him play. He hasn't really had the opportunity to lead an NFL team. And so this is a really good opportunity for him to be the leader on the team and one of the better players in this league and allow, his kids to watch him, dominate. And he's doing very well. Even though he had an off game this game, he still put up pretty good numbers. DC's quarterback situation, though, just puzzles me. They had 23 attempts in total amongst 2 quarterbacks. Their main one going 11 for 20, and he ran for 22 yards. They won this game on a performance where they only had 136 yards of rushing and 210 in passing. Yes, a defensive touchdown helped, but still, that seems pretty low.
Yeah, I kind of agree there. Teamu, I don't know if he's confirmed to me that he's like DC's guy yet. Even with the wins we've had so far, I feel like he has a lot of room to improve, and it's definitely showing even in an outing like this.
I mean, thank goodness for their defense, or these could be the next Vipers.
Well, defense wins championships. So
that
also helps.
Yep. Final score 28 Battlehawks, 34 DC Defenders. On to the second half of the games, and oh boy.
Yes.
This one stunk. You think the Seattle-Vegas game would stink? This game was only 1 point into the double digits. Final score, Orlando Guardians 9, going 0-3 currently on the season. Arlington Renegades 10 at 2-1. When you see both teams get 3 points in the first quarter, score nothing in the second and third, and then both of them get touchdowns at the end of the game, it's a stinker.
Yep.
It is
the second Jets-Patriots game we had this season.
Orlando's running back fumbled when his own offensive lineman hit him.
Yeah. It was not a great game. We'll start with Orlando's. We'll start with Orlando's stats here. Paxton Lynch, 19 for 31, 219, a 7.1 average, 4 sacks for 28 yards. He also ran 40.
Sorry, just saying, there's your reasoning. They only had Paxton Lynch under center.
Yeah. Paxton Lynch also ran 43 yards and 10 carries. He was their leading rusher. Behind him was Kelvin Taylor, 7 for 25. Jermaine Martin, 7 for 9. And Dedrick Thomas, 1 for 3. For receiving, Corey Latimer, 6 for 66. Charleston Rambo, 3 for 29. Great last name. Jalen Smith, 1 for 28. Dedrick Thomas, 3 for 25. Lance Lenore, 1 for 22. Eli Rogers, 2 for 20. And Logan Carter, 1 for 13.
Gotta love that name. Charleston Rambo.
Yeah, gotta love it.
Why Marbo?
Another great name. Jermaine Martin did not have a great day holding on to the football, as we aforementioned. Macedon said. Fumbled running into his own O-lineman. That was one of his two lost fumbles of the day.
His own O-lineman ran into him.
Yes, just boom. There you go. So not a great day for the Guardians. Thankfully, their defense came to play a little bit, but their offense, I mean, when you got Paxton Lynch under center, there's a lot to be desired. For the Renegades, Kyle Sloter, 18 for 23, 124, a 5.4 average, 1 touchdowns, 2 sacks for 10 yards. Davion Smith, 18 for 49, Kenneth Farrow, 5 for 17, and Kyle Slother, 4 for -2 yards. Those are the rushing stats. For receiving, Tyler Vaughn, 5 for 39. Yes, that was their leading receiver. 39 yards in total for 1 touchdown. Saul Cannella, 5 for 33. Caleb Vander Esch, 2 for 22. Is he related to the other Vander Esch? It's
I was thinking that
linebacker for.
Don't know.
Clayton Vander Esch.
Yeah, Clayton and Caleb. That sounds like some name mom
That
would
sounds
give
like
kids.
they could
Clayton and
be.
Caleb. That way when you're yelling at them from the porch and you don't know who you're. God damn it, Cletus.
Why do I have to have 2 kids named CVE?
Yeah.
CVE. Oh, I see.
Clayton.
Yeah, Caleb Vander Esch.
Yeah, Vander Esch is also
Lane.
Dutch, so it could be a common. It could be like Smith. That could be a Smith name in Dutch.
Is that
I
a
have no
middle
idea.
name, or does he have 2 last names?
No, it's
a 2 last name thing.
It's like a 2 last name kind of thing. It's
like
a Dutch last name. Clayton Vander Esch is
like Dutch
Dutch
Vanderlyn
player.
in the Red Dead series. Like
Right,
Vanderlyn is his last name.
Rounding out the receiving was LeJuan Winnington, 1 for 13, and Brandon Acronado, 3 for 10. They had no fumbles as well. Excuse me. I feel like it was the lack of mistakes from Arlington that kind of led the way.
Cousin.
Oh, he's a cousin.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, informative reporter Mastodon. Yeah, so it looks like the lack of mistakes. There were 2 turnovers for the Orlando Guardians compared to the Renegades 0, which was a great way to reduce the issues that they had. But again, this game ended with the Renegades winning by a point, 10-9, which sucks. And I hope it doesn't take a turn in a bad way for the league, because no one wants to see these kind of games. I'm sure the people that went to the game were kind of.
I think it was just the 2 teams. I think it was just because Arlington has no offense and then Orlando just sucks.
Yeah,
they're a train wreck.
Yeah,
because the next game,
have they won a game?
That was
Orlando. No, they have not won a game.
Oh man, we might have the Tank Bowl.
We're gonna have a Tank Bowl.
Orlando and
Vegas.
Yeah.
I think is that this week's matchup for them, or I mean,
I have no idea.
We will have to see.
Because they're eventually going to have to play each other at one point.
Yeah, everyone plays everyone.
But the San Antonio Houston. Oh my God, it's the next. It's week 5.
Tank Bowl.
Oh, the Tank Bowl.
Oh
man.
But that San Antonio
that's week
Houston game, go back to week 3.
Yeah, that's in
week
2
4,
weeks then, because we're on week 3.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's in 2 weeks. So hopefully they're undefeated. Vegas will play DC and Orlando will play Houston. Yeah, that's a loss. Yeah.
Houston.
Yep. Coming up, we have an inter-Texan battle. One of the many ones.
This was a good game.
Yes, it was a
good
game.
Very, very nice.
Another clap it up. Another well-performed coaching game by Wade Phillips. Good old Roughnecks. Wade Phillips leading his team from the sidelines, 22-13, and the victory against the San Antonio Brahmas. Yeah, they should be called the Rednecks. Houston would. I mean, I don't know if Houston would love that. I don't know if Houston's really a redneck town, but
no, it's
really.
Not.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about Texas is that all the rednecks are outside the inner city areas, like places like Austin, Houston. Those are mostly just like college and
you could probably do El Paso, but
El Paso I wouldn't know about because I've never been there actually.
El Paso
out in the West Texas town of El Paso.
Yeah. I would love that if they would have done a team in El Paso, and the logo for it would have been like the Gunslingers. That would have been the picture of like Marty Robbins' album with like the Texas red with the
big iron on his hip.
Yep, yeah. All right, let's start with the Roughnecks. Brandon Silvers, 24 for 35, 278, 3 touchdowns,
Slinging
1
it like
interception.
Texas red.
Yeah, 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 2 sacks. Late in the game,
you mean 3 touchdowns, 1 interception?
Oh, yeah, sorry. 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 sacks, 10 yards. Cole McDonald came in late in the game, went 1 for 1 for 3 yards. For rushing, Max Borghi, I believe, 15 carries for 74 yards. Bryson Aline, 7 for 25. Cole McDonald, 7 for 5. And Brandon Silvers, 1 for -1 for rushing. For receiving, Jontre Kirkland, 6 receptions, 77 yards, 2 touchdowns. Travell Harris, 2 receptions, 48 yards. Bryson Aline, 4 for 40. Cedric Bird, 3 for 39. Deontay Burnett, 2 for 31. Justin Smith, 1 for 25. Max Borghi, 4 for 12. Excuse me. And no fumbles. So their only turnover was the interception thrown by Brandon Silvers. So a very, very, very seemingly well-coached team that has all their cogs turning and working well. Again, they are still undefeated on the season, 3-0 going into week 4. So the Brahmas, what?
I was just going to say back with the Roughnecks, I saw that beautiful play with that 42-yard pass by Silvers.
Oh, yeah.
Great catch.
Especially
the touchdown was beautiful.
A well-oiled team, especially, unless you have one guy that's just going off. A really equal balance in the yardage and receptions is great because it's showing that they're not forcing it to any guy. There's not many, 6 receptions on 7 targets, 2 receptions on 4 targets, 4 receptions on 4 targets. He's hitting open people. The offense is clicking and moving, and they're running everything well. For the Brahmas, not a great day for their quarterback, going under 50% completion percentage. Jack Cohen, 8
former
for
Badger.
20. 8 for 20, man. It's former Badger. I mean,
Former
they play like this
Badger
against
and Notre Dame Irish.
Yeah. I mean, the Irish and the Badgers play like this against every, good Big Ten team anyway. Like, sure, you can go 20 for 20 against Northwestern and Illinois, but the second you go up and play Michigan, Michigan State, or Ohio State, you're going to, end up like this.
Wisconsin has a tendency to lose to Illinois, though.
Is it safe to call Jack Cohen here probably the second worst quarterback in the league?
Okay, Paxton Lynch is the worst.
Well, obviously, yeah.
Of the starting quarterbacks, Paxton Lynch has looked
horrible.
Thing is, they're faced against Houston and Wade Phillips, who's a really good DC. I think it was just Houston's defense just making problems for San Antonio.
This is definitely a bad performance, but at the same time, it's not been.
Also, that interception's not on Cohen. That was just a great interception by the Houston player.
Yeah.
Because he literally stripped it out of the San Antonio's hand while he was still in the air and just yoinked it out.
Yep.
Right.
His stats again: 8 for 20, 64 yards, 3.2 average, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 1 sack. For rushing, it wasn't great either. Only 98 total yards of rushing and 64 for the air, as we aforementioned. Jacques Patrick, 8 for 36 on the ground. Kalen Ballage, 10 for 35 on the ground. And Cohen also ran for 27 yards on 9 carries. Their only 2 touchdowns coming from a rushing touchdown from Patrick and 1 throwing touchdown from Cohen to TJ Vanisher, who went 1 for 9. They only had 2 people in double-digit receiving yards. Alize Mack, 3 receptions, 27 yards on 4 targets. Travis Johnson, 2 receptions, 14 yards on 4 targets. Their only touchdown, again, coming from TJ Vanisher, 1 for 9 on 3 targets. Again, as Massagen mentioned, this Houston Roughnecks team is defensively oriented and coached very well from a defensive-minded Wade Phillips, and he is... I would consider this wrecking emotional, mental, physical, and absolute psychic damage to the enemy team. Because this is insane. 64 total yards of passing and 98 total yards of rushing in the modern football period is disgusting defensively.
Yeah.
That is under 100 yards in both categories. That's insane.
Under 70 even. That's crazy.
San Antonio scored first after that long kickoff return and then short yardage to make the touchdown.
Yeah. They really get much going for that. After that, 2 quarters with that went scoreless with just 1 touchdown in the third, or that might have just been 2 field goals for all I know.
I had a feeling Roughnecks was gonna win this. They're shaping up to be the best team in the
for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah.
Brahmas were facing an uphill battle the second they came into Houston.
I think the biggest issue that we're looking at this far for the Roughnecks is that what happens if the coaching doesn't win them the game, or they can be able to win it themselves. And so far, I don't know if they've met something of that nature, and they might not. I mean, Wade Phillips might be able to coach circles around everybody else in this league, but at the same time, their team looks great and they're undefeated going into the week 4. They're definitely the favorites.
Yeah, well, they've also been playing somewhat soft teams. I mean, they played the Brahmas, which aren't exactly soft, but just couldn't get the job done. They played the Guardians. I believe they've also played the Renegades this year.
Well, I think the Guardians are the second best team.
I think the Guardians.
The Guardians? No.
Or the Battlehawks? No.
No, Battlehawks.
Yeah, I would say right
DC
now.
DC is still undefeated.
I would say right now,
and DC
Roughnecks, Defenders, Battlehawks, then probably San Antonio, Seattle, Arlington, Vegas is my best to worst list.
And then Orlando last. They're just
Orlando, Vegas.
I mean,
why you gotta do that to me?
I think Vegas is better.
Vegas has an original logo and their field sucks. They're worse.
I mean, that's true, I suppose.
Those are my Vipers.
Have you even been to Vegas, Gorlami?
Has any of us ever been to Vegas?
I look like I made of money.
Mamba might have. I never.
Mamba probably went to Vegas. Yeah.
Mamba's Tesla
I've been to
NAS.
Vegas before.
Yeah.
It's been a while though.
DMG money.
That DMG money, baby.
I'll be on vacation next month. All right.
You drive a Tesla, of course you've been to Vegas.
You drive a Tesla? Oh my gosh. Okay. Going into the predictions for week 4. Here we go.
We all know.
I don't know why I clicked on this. Houston by 14 against Orlando. That's my prediction. It's in Orlando. I don't give a fuck.
Mamba?
What? Oh, sorry. Sorry. I got messaged about something at the same time. All right. See me dragging these nuts are going to be losing. So give me the Rough Cocks by 14.
Hold on. This is week 5.
This is week 5.
What the fuck?
Sorry.
You baited me.
Yeah, but I'm still going. We're still going to go with
Houston.
the same.
It's still the Houston's going to win against.
You might as well call it the same thing.
Well, I mean, it's going to be Houston by 14.
I'm going to say Houston by 11 because they're probably not going to score that much, just because the way they're coached.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gorlami.
I'll take the Roughnecks by 21.
Yeah, I'm actually going to predict a shutout for this. I'd say Houston wins by 28, and Guardians put a big fat 0 on the board.
Next game, San Antonio travels to Seattle to play the Sea Dragons. Also, this is kind of funny. If you look at the pan of this league, you got Houston, Arlington, and Dallas, all in Texas. Then you also have Vegas,
San Antonio.
Arlington's
near Dallas, but
Houston, Arlington, and San Antonio, all in Texas. Then you have St. Louis, which is a little bit more north. Then you also have Orlando down in Florida. Then you have St. Louis, which is Midwest-ish, and then DC on the East Coast. Then you have Seattle. Is so far away from every other team. So this San Antonio is going to be traveling the furthest distance all the way to Seattle to play the Sea Dragons. I'm taking my Sea Dragons by 3. It's going to be a close one, but I think the on-the-road long travel for the Brahmas is going to hurt them. Mamba?
I was thinking. I like Ben DiNucci and See Me Dragging These Nuts team. So give me and Josh Gordon. Don't forget Josh Gordon. Yeah. He's on that team. Absolute stud. 10. Let's go See Me Dragging These Nuts by 10.
God damn. I'm gonna go Seattle by 7. I think it's gonna be a close one though.
You know what? As the 8th ranked all-time Badger quarterback, Jack Cohn is going to beat your poor little Sea Dragons by a mere 10 points.
I thought he was Notre Dame.
For Gryffindor.
I thought like Cohen was. Well, am I thinking of someone else that was Notre Dame, or was it Silvers? It was Cohen or Silvers.
Cohen did play for the Irish for a year.
Oh, okay, okay, because they showed his highlights during the game this past week.
I feel like the Brahmas are going to have a bra moment on the field and lose somehow. So I'm going to go with Sea Dragons by 3.
That's fine. I'll be the odd man out here. I gotta stick with my former Badger.
Who are the top 10 Badger quarterbacks of all time anyway? The only one I can think of is Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson's number 1. Number 2, they got Scott Tolzien. Tolzien was actually a pretty good backup. Let me pull that list back up. Me 1 second.
All right, while he's doing that, prediction.
Yeah, for the next one. St. Louis at home versus Arlington. Off a loss, I'm taking Adrian McCarron by 14 against Arlington. Mamba.
Give me the Battlecocks by 7. Thank you.
I got the
list. Why is Basildon taller now? Why do you make him tall?
He stood up. He doesn't sit still ever.
Okay,
keep editing everything. Now he sits back down. And I gotta fucking.
It's my back. It's my back. Okay.
It's my back.
Yeah, my back, my push and my crack.
I got the list up. It goes for a while, so I'll do the top 10. I'll do the top 10.
Top 10.
So obviously number 1, Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. They got Scott Tolzien, Daryl Bevel.
Okay.
Brooks Bollinger.
Oh, I'm looking at the same one.
John Stoko, Jim Sorgi, Ron Vander Kellen, Jack Cohn at number 8, baby. Randy Wright. And at number 10, we have Joel Stave.
That's the most Wisconsinite names I've ever heard in my life. Besides Russell Wilson, the entire of them were like, "Oh, stogies and a bar beer and a bratwurst."
We got our Scott Tolzien here.
Exactly. That guy sounds like he smells like mustard and hot dog buns.
You want to know someone who looks like he smells like that? There's a Wisconsin center in the draft this year, Joe Tipman. He looks like his blood is just full of mustard, ketchup, and poor beer and cheap beer. Joe Tipman.
Golly. All right, Mamba, your prediction on Arlington and St. Louis.
Wait. I already gave my prediction for St. Louis.
It's Gorlami that has to go.
Oh, Gorlami, sorry.
What game is it?
Arlington and St. Louis. Renegades playing the Battlehawks in St. Louis.
No fucking shit, the Battlehawks are going to win by 14.
Yeah, Battlehawks definitely going to win, probably by 10.
Right, and that leaves the final game on Sunday at 7 p.m., the matinee game, which I don't know will be that great. It's probably just the matinee game because it's in D.C. at night and they want to see the fans throw lemons and bras and rocks on the field. D.C. at home versus Vegas. I got to figure out if the place is serving beer, and I have to figure out if it's over or below $3 a bottle. If it's below, DC by 45. If it's above, DC by 14. I'm thinking it's going to be above. Economy's not in the best spot, so I'm going to take DC by 14.
Okay.
Economics.
All right, Mamba, you're
economics.
Give me. Well, the Vipers suck ass. So give me DC Defenders.
I'm so pissed off to say
21. Give me 21.
Sounds so pissed off.
The Vipers suck ass, man. Don't watch this team. Shit.
DC finally got a winning football team by 10. DC by 10.
Probably a functional stadium.
That too.
They're playing on a. Isn't it originally a MLS stadium?
Yes, a soccer stadium.
Yeah.
No. Well, I hate to go against my my poor Vipers, but
you know they're gonna lose. Your Tom Grossi look like.
Oh, I already know. Defenders by fucking 28. I'm gonna take it.
I would not be talking prepubescent Adam Driver. Anyway, you're up.
But can I add a comment to you, Lob?
What?
even if beer under $3 a bottle for the Defenders, I will still go over there and outdrink them.
I mean, you're from Wisconsin. You think you were born with like a Budweiser in your hand?
Dude, I was born with a bottle of vodka in my hand. What do you mean?
Right.
I came out of the womb with an old fashioned in my hand.
Just like a couple. I just had like a fucking like diaper full of like smeared off nips on. I mean, when I get.
I got a diaper full of fireball shooters.
Anyway, yeah. Moving on. Probably DC Defenders, of course. My team by 20.
All right.
Yeah, leave it to the Patriots fan. The bandwagon.
All right.
All right, Matt.
Oh,
Before we
sorry.
continue to covering the AFC North, can you give us a rundown of the standings currently amongst our prediction?
Yep. Let me go ahead and get that up. Track myself. Make sure because I have to update last week too.
I forgot we were actually keeping track of this shit.
Yep,
We are
keeping track of it.
We're just waiting. We need
My
one of
last
our
place,
most
I'm pretty sure I'm
religious
last
viewers, Muzzy. All hail Muzzy. All hail Muzzy. Religious viewer.
All right. I'll give the update of week 3 after I update that next week. But after week 2, it was Lob is 4-4. I don't know if you're writing down or not. Or
No,
yeah, okay. So
not.
Lob is 4-4 after 2 weeks. Pastrami is 5-4 after 2
shit.
weeks.
Am I at the bottom? Oh no.
Shit. Am I bottom? Wait, no.
Nope.
Wait. No,
Mamba's
we're going
9-2.
Damn!
Mamba's 9-2.
What?
And
Well, I guess a Bears fan has to be good at something.
And I got to add K-Duff later because I forgot to do week 3. So right now I'm 5-3 also, but I got to add in K-Duff later.
So I'm at the bottom.
So I'll
okay.
update it.
We can forget about recording. We're not recording anymore anyway.
But once I update it, I'll try to let you
Mamba
guys
has
know.
to be good at something. Being
Yeah.
a fan of a good football team isn't one of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
And then Gorlama's
All
been
right.
edited out of the video. Boop! There he goes.
It disappeared.
And he's gone.
All right, that wraps up the XFL. We're now moving on to the NFL, and we are starting with the AFC North. Our yearly review for them. And we figured it'd be wise to start with the AFC North because of some of the recent controversy that's come out. And if you haven't heard the recent controversy, here is a live video feed we have outside Joe Mixon's house.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
No! Fuck yeah, go.
Yeah, it was not great. In recent news, Joe Mixon has been I don't know if found guilty or convicted or whatever, but he shot at a group of kids playing with Nerf guns outside of his house. Actually collided with one of them. I don't believe the kid actually died, thank goodness, but obviously still not a great look for anybody. Probably
No, I mean it's Nerf or nothing, not Nerf and Smith or Wesson.
God damn. Oh Lord.
I didn't expect that to break him that bad.
Matson gets broken.
He has
a couple
left
times.
the fucking room for those that are just listening to the audio.
Oh God. Yeah. So we'll start with the Bengals, who ended up having a pretty good season. They got back to the AFC Championship. Weren't able to go back to the Super Bowl.
His pillow's falling.
Oh.
Oh, here it goes. Here it goes.
Come on. Go.
Come on. I can actually see it.
Come on. It's like right on the precipice. Come on. Pillow's got to fall. It's aiming for the board. Come on. Come on. What's the over-under? Mama, what are the Vegas odds on Matson Pillow falling? Come on. Go.
Never tell me the odds.
No. Shit. No. Pillow's gonna.
Yes! The pillow fell.
The pillow fell. Holy shit. Okay.
The house does not win.
Oh my gosh. All right.
We gotta talk about all the changes that are happening in the league too eventually. But after
yes, we will. We'll cover the AFC North, and we'll talk about some of the stuff that's going on in the league because there's some big moves, some big names, some possible stuff coming up. Aaron Rodgers is still out of his darkness retreat and has not said jack shit about anything.
That man's still out of
A
psychedelic
lot of news
trip.
with the AFC North, though.
Yeah. So I think in the end, the Bengals, as far as the season review, I'd probably give him an 8 out of 10. Even though I'm a Bengals fan, I feel like that's kind of fair. They got to the AFC Championship. Obviously, they didn't turn out how they wanted to, but they had a left tackle who was hurt and not playing, a right guard who was hurt and not playing, a right tackle who was hurt and not playing. All of the guys they went out and got for the offseason in order to make better, including their left tackle, who was the only good lineman from that team that went to the Super Bowl last year, all got hurt. All they had left was Ted Karras, the only exception, and the rookie Cordell Volson out of NDSU at left tackle, or left guard, excuse me. So that wasn't great for them. Also, their best corner, and probably one of the better corners in the league, I'd probably throw him in the top 5 conversation, Chidobe Awuzie, was out the entire second half of the season with an ACL injury, did not return even for the playoffs. So this was a team that struggled with some injuries, and sadly, those injuries kept them from propelling themselves further into the playoff race. However, they still got to the AFC Championship. It's still a very great mark that the Bengals have gotten to not many times, and that's actually their first AFC Championship loss. So an interesting time for them, but also some of the stuff we're hearing in the offseason is not great. So let's go ahead. What?
At least your cap space is fine.
It is now. It won't be later. So big name free agents. There's a lot of big names. This is not a ton of free agents, but some big names. So Jesse Bates. This is the biggest one every Bengals fan and a lot of fans around the league are looking at. Jesse Bates, rumored at the beginning of the year, not going to play under the franchise tag. Then we eventually worked him into talking, hey, let's get you in the franchise tag. We get him in the franchise tag, and then we go out and we draft the best safety in the NFL draft out of Michigan. We draft what was his name? Daxton Hill. There it is. Sorry. We draft Daxton Hill, who's supposed to be an amazing. He's tall, he's quick, he's fast, he can hit, he can tackle, unlike Bates. So we're supposed to be like, if Bates leaves, we're not bad off. But then Dax also didn't look amazing his first year. It could be rookie struggles. It could not be. He also didn't get a ton of playing time. We don't know. We're worried about Jesse Bates wanting a ton of money. Because if he wants a ton of money, we're like, we can't do that. We got guys like DJ Reader coming up to pay. We got guys like Joe Burrow. We got guys like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Hayden Hurst, and we also just signed. Yeah, we also just pulled in guys like Lyle Collins. We pulled in guys like Alex Kappa, Ted Karras. There's a ton of movement with this money that we're worried if we pull in Jesse Bates for enough money that we're not going to have enough to spread around. So we're walking on eggshells without Jesse Bates. If we resign him, cool. If he goes, it's not the end of the world, but it's also not the greatest situation. So I would say the need to re-sign him is probably like try, and if it's reasonable, do it. But if he wants a fuck ton of money, no. I don't think we can afford it. On the other side, our strong safety, Von Bell, that is a must resign. He is an amazing safety who can hit like a freight train rolling down a hill. I love Von Bell, even though he went to Ohio State. He did. He's done an amazing job. I think it's something that we really need to keep. Then there's Eli Apple.
Yeah, I was about to say someone who hasn't done a good job.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Whenever Eli Apple doesn't run his mouth, he is amazing. And I mean amazing. If you were to look at his stats of people that have been thrown to when he was guarding them, it's abysmal. Do you know why Stephon Diggs was so bad in the game against us? It was entirely Eli Apple. And I'm ashamed in saying that. I don't like the guy. I think he's a jackass.
How often does he not run his mouth?
Not often, actually. The only times he's ran his mouth is during big games. Last year's Super Bowl and this year's AFC Championship. So I think if you were going to re-sign him, it's for a 1 or 2 year deal, and there needs to be some stipulation in there where he deletes every single fucking piece of social media he has entirely. Nuke it, glass it, level it, destroy it. I don't want to see an Eli Apple anything.
Also, maybe make sure Cincinnati's mayor does the same before their next playoff game, because he obviously never heard the
people already know he's an idiot, and that just got reaffirmed about comments he made about East Palestine and the train crash there. So,
at least he's not Clay Walker.
Oh yeah. discussed that last week.
Yeah, Quay Walker's bad. But no, I think Eli Apple is still very good. He just needs to have a Belichick approach to him. I think this team kind of needs it because a lot of the stuff circling around them now in the offseason about what they're doing is like we kind of need some Belichick like cut the shit, focus on football. You do anything else, you're gone. You know.
Yeah.
Zach Taylor, he has no spine.
Maybe also keep your cards close to the chest because he lets out nothing.
Exactly.
Of anything.
Hayden Hurst was early on in the year. He was good all year, but early on in the year, I felt like he was one of the few guys that wanted to be there. Everyone was kind of nervous on what to do and how to react, and people weren't going super hard in the season. I saw Hayden Hurst like run through a brick wall early in the year. Like, Hayden Hurst was amazing. So I would say.
I was gonna say I had him in fantasy. He wasn't a like top 10, I'd say, but he did pretty good for his position.
Yeah, I think he's great. I think we should definitely re-sign him. I think it's a high on our list because obviously we got rid of CJ Uzama last year, so he's our best tight end. I'd say we need to keep him. We really need an option for Joe to throw to a tight end. Trey Flowers is a taller cornerback that we use a lot in coverage for tight ends. If you can re-sign him for a good deal, great. If not, okay, we'll get somebody different. Another big one, I think this guy's right behind Von Bell and Hayden Hurst, Samaj P. Ryan.
You're definitely gonna need him, especially if
when Mixon was out, P. Ryan looked like there were some plays where he would dribble a man, as we covered in some other episodes of Football Stooges.
Oh, yeah.
He would dribble people off the ground with stiff arms. I would say keep P. Ryan. He's definitely way up there. Some other guys are role players. Brandon Allen was a backup quarterback. If you can keep him, great. If not, no big deal. Drew Sample was a blocking tight end who got injured midway through the year. If you can re-sign him to a very similar deal, sure. If not, that's fine. Clark Harris, long snapper, I would keep him. He had injury issues early in the year, which caused us to lose our opening game versus the Steelers. Fuck the Steelers. But actually, I would say, I would say, keep him if he can stay healthy. Max Sharping was a fill-in guy that played guard for us. He was a good backup. He did well in the Buffalo game, and then he did bad in the Chiefs game. Maybe Trent Taylor, I would say also keep him. He filled a role very well when Jamar Chase was out, coming in as a wide receiver 3. He moved everyone up in the depth chart up. So then you had T. Higgins as wide receiver 1, Boyd as 2, and Trent Taylor 3 or 4. He did a great job there. I would say re-sign him. Jermaine Pratt, getting older as a linebacker. He's still a pretty hard hitter. I would say if you're going to re-sign him, probably look to a 1 to 2 year deal, nothing long-term, but I would say it's a good idea. And then Trayvon Williamson, Clay Johnson, and Mitchell Wilcox were all low rookie deals or older deals. I would say not looking to keep many of them besides Mitchell Wilcox. He had some upside as a tight end, but now that we have Hurst, I mean, we're not sending Drew Sample on many routes, so maybe put Wilcox in there. But we also have Moss, who was a tight end that's still on payroll that we can keep there. So I wouldn't be too worried about that. But again, the big ones: Von Bell, Hayden Hurst, Samaj P. Ryan. Those are big ones that we need to keep, and then Jesse Bates in there if it works money wise.
Yeah, I'd agree. That's pretty much what you want to keep with it. There's one I think we might have skipped over. Michael Thomas, free safety. Would you probably keep him, or I don't know if you know?
No, we have Dax Hill, and
23.
Yeah,
he's old.
Yeah, he's older. We have Dax Hill coming up as a safety. We can also get a later round safety that can probably fill the same in the bench.
True.
So, the biggest thing is we got to worry about the future. Again, DJ Reader was the best defensive tackle PFF-wise in the NFL. We want to keep him. We want to keep Henderson, who's our best outside rusher. As far as the Mixon thing goes, I don't want another Cincinnati Jangles, which were the jail Bengals. I don't want that again. I don't want another Domata Peko and Ray Malaluga and
Vontez
Burfict in the team. I don't want him getting arrested on DUIs every third weekend in April. I don't.
You could probably link a Pac-Man in there too, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if we can get a running back trade for Joe Mixon, cool. Would love it. Joe Mixon is under 30. He could be used in a rebuild. Fuck it. Joe Mixon for Derrick Henry. Make it happen, Zach Taylor. That's not going to happen, but I can dream. Jonah Williams, I would love to see cut. I don't want to see his 900-pound feet fail to move a quarter inch ever again.
Yeah, I guess.
I have seen guys like Lyle Collins work to be a better pass rusher, and he's got a pass rush stopper. Lyle Collins eventually worked on his spacing and was able to become a better pass blocker. Jonah Williams still can't fucking move. So if we can sign Taylor Lewan and send Jonah Williams to the USFL, do it. I don't want him in here anymore. I don't want Joe Burrow's backside being defended by an 80-year-old grandma with arthritis and a walker, okay?
Jeez.
That's basically what he's been the last couple weeks of the season.
I know
he's worked his heart out and he's an LSU guy, but golly, dude.
He also drafted him all the way back in 2016 to fix up your O-line back then, and you've still been trying to fix up your O-line since then.
I mean, you can't fix an O-line with one guy. I don't care if you add Trent Williams to this O-line. Well, to this O-line, it would be insane. But if you take the worst O-line in history and you throw Trent Williams at it, like the Bengals from last year, if you were to throw Trent Williams at the Bengals from last year, Aaron Donald would just play right end every game. Or left end because it's backwards. But you just go to the other side of the line. Like, you need a couple pieces. Like, sure, you can cover up a guy. They did that with Cordell Volson early on. He's the rookie that played left guard for us. They covered him up a lot because, he's a rookie. He's learning. He's getting some false starts. He's getting some holdings, because he's figuring it out. But he's physically able to do it. He's quick. He's fast. He's strong. He's powerful. He's just got to get a lot of the mental stuff down. You can't hide a left tackle.
No, obviously.
In a situation where they rush 4... I mean, maybe with how good Ted Karras is, he can chip down and you can send a left guard and a left tackle at somebody. You can't.
Oh yeah, Karras has been pretty good. I mean, I watched him a lot in England. So
yeah,
you guys got a good center.
If Linderbaum wasn't in Baltimore, he'd be the best center in the AFC North.
Yeah,
but Linderbaum is a generational talent like Creed Humphrey. So. Yeah, then again, looking to the future, we got Joe Burrow to pay. Guys like BJ Hill, a great compliment, DJ Reader, Sam Hubbard, Lyle Collins, Alex Kappa, Jamar Chase, Roby Awuzie, Mike Hilton, Ted Karras. There's a ton of people need to pay.
T. Higgins,
also, Logan Wilson is going to get paid. Same with T. Higgins. These are two contracts coming up for role guys that we cannot lose.
Isn't Wilson a young guy? Is that going to be like his big boy contract? Or
yes, we drafted him out of Wyoming, and he is being paid his rookie deal, so he's not getting paid a ton. So
yeah, because I thought he was. I thought his year was coming up soon.
Yeah. So Cincinnati Bengals 2023 draft picks. We have the 29th pick in round 1, the 61st pick in round 2, a 3rd round pick, a 4th round pick, a 5th round pick, a 6th round pick, and a 7th round pick. We haven't made many trades. I'm thinking. Honestly, anytime I open my phone and I see a notification from Bleacher Report or ESPN, I'm thinking it's probably Adam Schefter saying that Joe Mixon's been sent to, the Canadian Football League. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But
well, obviously, if that is to happen, you definitely want to re-sign Samaje Perine.
Yes. But, before we trade Mixon, we got to re-sign Perine, and then also I would love to get something for Mixon. He's still young and he has got a big contract, so I'd love to send him. Like, I think the trade would work out with Derrick Henry. And the Titans would secure cap space. And if we could make that work money-wise, that'd be cool. But at the same time, would the Titans want to do that? Maybe. Mixon's younger than Henry. Mixon's still good. They want Mixon after he shot at children? Probably not. But it's Tennessee. Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
I feel like that's going to put a dark mark on his name after that thing.
Well, I mean, he already beats women. Like, this guy is a class act, obviously.
Well, that's
like
that's
at this point, we could trade him for Ray Rice, and that would be an upgrade morally.
I mean, yeah, but there's also that's true. I also thinking about a certain other player in your division that also got
downgrade we could trade him for. The only downgrade we could trade him for would be O.J. Simpson. That is the only downgrade we could trade him for.
I also have to remember that there's another guy in this division that also got paid a massive amount of money for even worse stuff and a lot more of it. But we'll get to the Browns in a minute.
Yeah. But I think to round out the Bengals, the biggest thing they need to look for is probably fix the hole in left tackle for offensive line. Mm-hmm. I would say, for me, I love Sam Hubbard, but like he's either got to develop as a better pass rusher or we got to get another pass rusher. Maybe keep Hubbard and try to find an outside linebacker, Von Miller phenotype kind of guy to be
There's
an outside
probably
rusher.
There's probably a decent one you could find in the draft. I mean, it's loaded with edge rushers.
A lot of the modern pass rushers are not ends; they're outside linebackers that play end, like Clay Matthews. If you can find someone like that, that'd be great. But then you need to secure up that secondary. You need more dangerous cornerbacks around Awuzie, and then you got to keep who you need to keep. Those are the biggest thing for the Bengals. They have a great core going forward. They have a lot of great things going for them. You just got to keep it rolling and fix some of those external puzzle pieces to make the whole thing go. But yeah, that's my rant on the Bengals.
I thought Girlami was about to say something.
Oh, I was just going to say Madison was losing his shit again.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to get up and we were going to get a pillow tipping round 2.
Whenever we talk about O.J. Simpson, Madison starts laughing.
No, well, just the Bengals in general. You're just fucking.
Hey, usually I'm the one bringing up O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember last time?
Hey,
remember last time?
That man was found not guilty.
Oh my! Let's not go there.
The people that were found not guilty: Deshaun Cosby and the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, speaking of exactly. Speaking of not guilty, Deshaun Watson.
That cat's face.
Yeah, the Cleveland Browns. Oh my God. This was one of the more disappointing teams. As a Bengals fan, I loved it, but as if I were a Browns fan, this would be super disappointing. I would agree with Madison, probably a 2 or a 3. You go out and sign Deshaun Watson.
I know they basically just launched a nuke on their own organization and created a problem they didn't have because, I mean, yes, he had to move on for Baker Mayfield. Jacoby Brissett looked amazing for what the Browns had ended up doing this year. Yeah. And holy shit, a guy who hasn't played in 2 years and has a lot of baggage legally looks like shit, and you only find this out after paying him Cleveland's entire GDP.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they definitely fucked themselves.
Deshaun Watson is responsible for nearly a fourth of the entire cap space of the Cleveland Browns.
That's 21.84%.
That's stupid.
Why did they give him that contract?
Because it's Cleveland.
Because Jimmy Haslam is a fucking moron. That's why.
Yeah. So, I mean, for Cleveland, I would say a 2 out of 10. Again, they signed Deshaun Watson, paid him way too much money, and then he's not going to play for them for half the year. Now, going into next year, which is supposed to be your next big year, he's going to be paid $100 million a year, which is insane. Then you also got guys that you want to re-sign eventually that you're not going to have money for, like Myles Garrett, Amari Cooper, Wyatt Teller, Nick Chubb, Joel Bettino, Teller and Bettino, who were both Pro Bowlers, not to mention Denzel Ward, David Njoku, all these
Jack Conklin,
all these guys up here are amazing. They have an amazing O-line that could end up being
Wyatt Teller come to the Eagles.
Jack Conklin, Greg Newsome,
fuck off! You don't need linemen. We do. As a Bengals fan, we need linemen. You have been blessed with guys like Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey.
When we go to the NFC East next week, you'll show who's free agents. It's almost a whole O-line.
I mean, yeah, but you'll re-sign a lot of them. You guys had a team that went to the Super Bowl. I mean, if you got older guys that want to win Super Bowls, they're not leaving.
You can't. You're not entirely in cap hell. You can definitely sign most of your O-line back.
But negative $13 million in cap space for the Browns is bad.
Because of Wyatt Teller went to Virginia Tech too. So I'm like, haha.
Oh, okay.
And then for picks, you don't even have a first round pick. You got a second round pick, a third round pick, 2 4ths, 2 5ths, a 6th, and 7th. So, and then also you got like young guys like Donovan Peoples-Jones, who's an amazing receiver that you might be able to re-sign. Jeremiah Osua-Koromora.
Jadeveon Clowney, they're probably moving on from.
Clowney, they're moving on from, but then also JOK is going to be amazing, and he might not be able to re-sign. David Bell's look pretty good. Jacob Phillips, Anthony Schwartz. Like, there's a lot of guys around here that can be pretty good and can be really good on other teams, but you're not going to be able to re-sign because you're paying a fourth of your cap to one guy who had 27 cases against him.
I know. And as for the guys they're probably losing this year because they can't pay them, I don't even know who else it is besides Clowney and a few other people.
Not to mention, like, Jacoby Brissett played his heart out and just turned him to the side like he's nothing. It just it just shows this organization what they value, which is not much.
Yeah, you shoved him back to the bench in favor of the NFL's Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
It's not a good sign.
They're free agents. Deion Jones, inside linebacker, they'll probably want to re-sign him. Jadeveon Clowney, it looks like they're moving on. Kareem Hunt, that's a definite re-sign. That two-back rotation was dangerous. You want to keep that. Jacoby Brissett, with how he played, he might get a lot of money somewhere else. You might want to watch out if someone throws a lot of money his way, you might be able to re-sign him. So he is unrestricted. Excuse me. He is unrestricted. He could go anywhere.
Smells like a future Carolina Panther to me.
Huh. Anthony Walker Jr. probably re-sign. Then Trayvon Bryan, defensive tackle, if you can, yeah. But then most everyone else: Chris Hubbard, Greedy Williams, Ronnie Henson, Dearness Johnson, Stephen Weatherly, Ethan Pocic, Jesse James, Farrell Brown, Jordan Kunyanzik, Chase Winovich, Shinoe Takiani, Michael Dunn, Chris Odom, and AJ Green, the cornerback, not the wide receiver. Those are probably re-sign if you want. Those are all kind of role players that sometimes see the field. I know Winovich is a Michigan guy that I really like. He's
former Patriots too, decent kid.
Yeah, a pretty good player. Definitely isn't a starter yet in the NFL. Might not be ever, but at the same time, still a good guy that you could re-sign for a vet minimum deal if you want a lot of experience. But again, you already have
Belichick
Miles
started him for
Garrett.
the time he was in New England a few times. So.
But yeah, the big ones are you really want to re-sign Kareem Hunt, and probably Deion Jones as well. Those are two big re-signs you want to get. But also, you kind of want Deion Jones' salary down a bit from $14 million because you don't got that money.
Yeah, probably.
To be honest, I think all these guys might walk. And hey, the Bengals could, if the Bengals deal, they deal Joe Mixon out and get a very, another very respectable man when it comes to how he treats his women, and Kareem Hunt, yeah, just class acts, man. Class acts.
Good old AFC North. AFC North.
So yeah, that could be how that ends. No idea, but yeah, for the Browns, it was an awful season. This is one to forget. Definitely one to forget. Let's go ahead and go into the salary cap.
Out of the factory.
The next one, we're gonna talk about a few things before we get into this team specifically. Derek Carr recently signed a deal with the
Saints.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
The Saints for a good bit of change. Now that we'll get into it more when we talk about the Saints and their cap space, but it's not looking great with like 4 quarterbacks on the roster, not to mention the backups. So 4 starting quarterbacks on starting quarterback salary would be Derek Carr coming on. You have Andy Dalton, you have Jameis Winston, and Taysom Hill. That's a lot of money to be paying. So they're gonna have to move one of them. It's probably gonna be Winston because Dalton could be a good backup. Dalton. Well, yeah, Dalton could be a good backup. I don't think Winston will be. Maybe. I don't think he could go either way. But yeah. So Derek Carr signed there. And then Daniel Jones got paid $132 million?
$160 million for 4 years.
$160 million. And then they franchise tag Saquon Barkley. So now Lamar is looking at this going, what the fuck? I have an MVP. Neither of these guys do. I should be getting more money. So now the Ravens have tried to franchise tag him while he can still shop other teams. And other teams are rumored to starting to be throwing him Daniel Jones money times 2.
I know.
Falcons are out, and another team said they're not looking. I can see why Falcons. I try to remember some other teams that said no right now.
There has been a rumor that the commies want him, but I don't know if that's still a thing or not. I have to say, though, I do not really think he deserves that much money for what he's done. Like, yes, he has been an MVP. Yes, he has gotten this team into the playoffs before, but he hasn't really done much past that yet. He's been injured the past 2 years.
Or stay healthy, yeah.
And he can't stay healthy. And but also the problem is the same issue we watched in the 2016 NBA draft, where there's guys that were getting paid way too much money for what they were worth and what they turned out to be. And I mean, we've seen massive contracts with people like Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson already. He's looking at that shit and like, I want to be like that. And when I think like we know, at least I think he's probably already hit his ceiling. Like, what left does he have to show here?
Right.
And he's already rejected what, a $250 million deal?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, so
it might be that he doesn't want to be in Baltimore.
That's also possible.
Was Greg Roman as your offensive coordinator? Oh no, Greg Roman's out. That's right.
No, Greg Roman is out, but who knows? They might hire somebody that he doesn't like and be like, okay, now I definitely want out.
Gorlami, you all right?
Yeah.
You're looking like you're phasing out almost.
Bro,
no, I was fixing my sock.
We're getting close to the Aaron Rodgers news.
I mentally prepared myself for that, and I was also fixing my sock. It was annoying.
Take some more shots while you're.
Baltimore has the 23rd overall pick in round 1. No second round picks. They have a 3rd, a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th. No 7ths. So not a great draft year for them. Only having 1 first round and then 1 third. That's a big jump in the level of player. Again, Lamar's taking up almost 15% of their cap space. Not as bad as Deshaun Watson, but still a lot of money. And that, again, is the estimated franchise tag. If not, he is a free agent. Again, the Ravens season, I would probably throw it like a 5. They had Lamar hurt, and they were able to limp into the playoffs, and they couldn't do much from there.
Yeah, I'd probably give it a 5. 6 if I was being generous, but...
Yeah, it's not a great season.
Things, it was not a good season for them.
I'd say 4 because they had no receivers also, and their secondary sucked ass.
Yeah.
Their other free agents are Marcus Peters, Justin Houston, Kyle Fuller, Juwan James, Sammy Watkins, Trayvon Mullen, Jason Pierre-Paul. Yes, that Jason Pierre-Paul.
I forgot he was on that team.
Stephen Means.
How many fingers again?
Yeah, like
1, 2, 3,
1,
4,
2,
5.
3, 4, 4.
Take
4,
my strong hand.
Oh my god!
I love Scary Movie too.
That's fucked.
Kayvon
Seymour. You know the reference. You know the reference.
Yeah, Scary Movie. Yeah. Kayvon Seymour, Tristan Colon Castillo, Kirsten Welch, Gino Stone, Tyler Huntley, Nick Moore, Justin Hill, Ben Powers, Delshawn Phillips. I think Tyler Huntley would be a good quarterback to keep as a backup or as a starter because he ended up doing pretty well and was somehow a Pro Bowler, but he's going to get a lot more money because he's a Pro Bowler now. Josh Oliver was a pretty good backup for Mark Andrews when he wasn't in. I wouldn't re-sign Pierre-Paul. He's basically a fossil at this point. Sammy Watkins, I mean, if that's your best wide receiver option you can get, fuck it. And then Juwan James, I'd re-sign. Kyle Fuller, if you can get a good deal. Then Justin Houston and Marcus Peters, both good deals as well. Marcus Peters, you're going to pay him. Marcus Peters is definitely a decently sought-after cornerback. I would definitely say you're going to have to look at what you're going to pay him. He could be drawn to some other teams, maybe in the Bengals. We love taking AFC North cornerbacks like Mike Hilton from other teams like the Steelers. So Marcus Peters is definitely one you would want to re-sign, but again, what money are you going to have after you pay Lamar Jackson the GDP of Liechtenstein? I don't know. So a rough season for the Ravens that kind of was up and down and left and right, and it just felt like a repeat of last year. Not a good year.
It essentially was like either they limped it to the playoffs. Lamar Jackson wasn't healthy, and they lost in the first round.
Yep. To my Bengals.
Well, the year before, I mean.
I don't think they're going to want to re-sign a Watkins.
That was divisional.
Oh, that was also divisional. Okay. Oh yeah, that was to the Titans too, I think. No wait.
No.
I'm thinking of 2020. Jesus.
Yeah, you're thinking 2020.
All right.
What was Gorlami saying?
Go ahead, Gorlami.
I was gonna say I don't see Baltimore wanting to re-sign Watkins in any extent. He's on the Packers. He was injury prone. He didn't amount to much. He's 29, which for a receiver can be considered old sometimes, but
he have like weight problems too.
Yeah, he does have. Yeah, he did.
That's funny.
Is he one Popeye's biscuit away from becoming a tight end?
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Oh my god.
That's what it was.
That's a running joke.
Christ. Welcome to the football teachers, everyone.
Yep. All right. Next up, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Steelers not going to Super Bowl.
I would honestly give them probably a 6. They didn't have a losing record. They ended up playing pretty well. They didn't think they were going to make a Super Bowl. They didn't get close to that. They didn't really make the playoffs, but at the same time, not giving Mike Tomlin his first losing season in the season where he was probably predicted to have his first losing season is a pretty good success. They saw development for Kenny Pickett and especially George Pickens. Holy crap!
Oh yeah,
that guy's insane. So I would give him probably a 5 or 6.
Yeah, I'd probably also give them a 5. Like they've definitely shown they have some problems here that they can't. They're still seeming to have a bit of a quarterback tandem between Pickett and Trubisky, which I don't know if that's working out for them. And they've also shown that their defense immediately breaks down the second J.J. Watt gets hurt.
Or
that
TJ
thing
Watt,
is
yeah.
TJ Watt, excuse me. Like the second he's hurt, it's all on Minka Fitzpatrick, and he can't do it all. So.
Also, they did not get rid of Matt Canada as an OC, so
that is also a thing too. They really
they
should
need
have done
to
that.
Blame Canada.
Any
really need to
success
start
they
thinking
did
about
have on
using the
offense
third
was in
Watt brother.
spite of him. So
Third Watt brother.
The third Watt brother for spare parts for
the
TJ.
forgotten
I thought he was on there for a year.
Derek
He was
Watt,
a fullback.
Yeah. Derek Watt's on
There's
I think he's still on the team.
There was a meme made for Derek Watt saying that they're basically using him as spare parts for TJ.
Yeah,
And they were saying if they could,
Derek
they're
Watt,
saying
Mama
if they
Watt.
could get JJ Watt, they could just
Mama
make
Watt's
a
looking at him like, Derek, give your brother TJ your healthy leg. Like he's gonna need it for next week. Okay, Mom.
But yeah, their free agents are Larry Ogunjobi, former Bengal, Mason Rudolph, Devin Bush, Cameron Sutton, Derek Watt, Jesse Davis, Tyson Alau, Marcus Allen, Terrell Edmonds, Robert Spillane, Malik Reed, Chris Wormley, Demontre Kaze, Trenton Scott, Carl Joseph, Steven Sims Jr., Miles Boykin, Jameer Jones, Benny Snell Jr., J.C. Hownausser, James Pierre, and Zach Gentry. Larry Ogunjobi, ever since moving to defensive end from DT, has been a pretty solid force. I definitely re-sign him. Mason Rudolph,
cut him.
no.
Yeah.
Devin
Man's
Bush,
got CTE from taking a helmet to the head.
Yeah. Devin Bush, I would definitely. Devin Bush and Cameron Sutton would definitely be re-signs, and Derek Watt as a fullback, I would re-sign as well.
Mm-hmm.
Fullbacks are. Fullbacks are a hard thing to find, and he's still very good. He's not Kyle Juszczyk, but at the same time, he is a hard-nosed, just rough and tumble guy that will open a lane for a fullback in an I form.
But even then, a fullback can be used as a blocking tight end.
True, yeah, he's very useful.
Because
also,
Pittsburgh
Marcus
doesn't even have
Allen
O-lines
and
either.
Terrell Edmonds had pretty good years at safety, so maybe keep them. Other than that, the rest of them are, if you can get good deals, sure, and if they're integral, sure. But definitely, you really want to re-sign Larry Ogunjobi and Devin Bush, as well as Cameron Sutton and Derek Watt. Those are your 4 biggest guys to re-sign.
I'd also probably go for Jesse Davis too, because they need to work on the O-line a bit this offseason.
Yeah.
We'll
they
see
have
Mason
a
Rudolph.
first-round pick, the 17th overall, 2 seconds, a 33rd, and a 50th. Then a 3rd-round pick, a 4th-round pick, and 2 sevenths. So they go from a 4th-round pick to nothing until the last round.
Knowing the Steelers, I feel like they're going to try and draft Joey Porter Jr. at 17 if he's still available, just because Steelers going for that legacy hire.
We'll probably go back and look at the actual first round overall and the draft prospects when we get close to April. But for now, yeah, it's just what positions do they need?
I personally want to see Mason Rudolph in the USFL and up his game from fighting Myles Garrett to trying to fight a nose tackle.
That would be funny.
Dude, the guy would just lay on him and he would die instantly.
I think the biggest thing for the Steelers that they need to fix is coming to this next season, they need to shore up that O-line on offense, yes. And
new
probably,
OC.
Yeah. Najee Harris is still good. Definitely try to get a new OC some way. Probably one more receiving option. Pickens is good. He needs a counterpart. Najee's good in the backfield. If you shore up your O-line and then you need to see if Kenny Pickett works or not, give him a year or 2. That's really all you can deal with. You got to be able to cut him loose and go to another guy if you don't think he's going to work. After that, defensively, besides Minka Fitzpatrick and TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward, that defense kind of needs a lot of pieces. Secondary, middle linebackers, and edge rushers. There's a lot of stuff needed.
The biggest thing that the Steelers need is to wrap TJ Watt in bubble wrap. The Watts are such good football players, but they They just get hurt so
I'm just
No,
freaking
not
easy.
Derek. That's the thing,
I'm
though.
looking at this.
Derek,
South,
TJ and JJ have been hurt a lot.
Derek
hasn't. Derek
Derek
hasn't get hurt.
sacrifices the defensive talent for a healthy body.
Are they?
Let's be
Are
real.
they
here.
able to
Let's
move
be real
Mitch
here.
Trubisky, or was that a 1-year deal that he's on?
I don't know.
Either 1 or 2 year.
It's 2 years.
2 year.
So he's
Think
not
they-
either.
they-
I mean, they
I
could
mean-
trade him, but like, who wants
Yeah.
Mitch Trubisky?
I think they signed him as like a bridge deal.
Yeah, but if you could get like late round picks for Big Dick Mitch, might as well. I mean,
No, it's kissing titties.
Mitch
kissing
titties.
tissy. Because you
Kissing
already know
titties.
you're gonna go with Small Hands Pickett, so
You
I'm
dare
gonna
try
throw-
to
I'm
dare
gonna
try
throw
to
the
compare
football
Mitch Trubisky to Big
to
Cock Brock.
Johnson. It'll be the greatest throw in the history of Steelers football, probably ever.
We need
Of
to
all
build a wall
time.
on the O-line.
We need to build
Yeah, but
a
I mean, no,
wall
like-
on the O line, and we need to play our games in China.
no,
Wrong.
but I'm being dead ass. Move Mitch.
lineman
There's no
just got
point
10
in
feet
holding
higher.
that. There's no point in holding that contract if
If
you
the
know you're
Steelers
going
keep
with
Mason
Pickett.
Rudolph, it's wrong. It's not okay.
Bro,
It's
Yeah,
Shut
what the
up,
fuck are they
Matt.
doing with
Shitty
Mason?
news about
Can
it,
anyone
bro,
you're
explain
fired.
that?
You're
Any
fired,
news about
Matt
us getting
Canada.
rid of
fired.
Mason Rudolph.
if you don't send Mason
Oh,
Rudolph to the
God.
USFL, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
Why are we
wrong?
Oh, sorry,
Okay.
kiss small hands.
All right,
Jesus
Trumps, we gotta
Christ.
move on from this. Okay.
Their cap space isn't great.
Okay.
But they
it
can move
is-
stuff.
Yeah, they can move things around. Again, like Mambo's talking about, they can move Trubisky, who is a 10 mil cap hit with 4.64% of their current cap. They can move him for picks, sure. If someone's got space, yes. But the biggest thing is they need to improve what they have set up because they have some good pieces. There's just nothing around those pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It's like you got the start of a sandwich, you got 2 pieces of bread. You gotta fill it with something.
Mm-hmm.
With some
Yeah,
pastrami
too bad
and some
those-
bologna.
Some Mamma mia, some fucking
Too
super
bad.
side.
Prosciutto, hey.
Prosciutto.
Too bad that bread's whole grain.
What the fuck is
That's,
that Pittsburgh like fucking sandwich that they do? I don't know. I can't remember what it's called.
That's the AFC
oh
wrap
boy.
up for us. The only big news that we have to talk about from the rest of the NFL that we haven't already covered was they continue to talk about Aaron Rodgers and what is going to be possibly coming
refuse.
out of that situation. Which Gorlami
Stop bringing me into this shit, man.
You're the Packers. Come on.
Oh man. I think
Look,
the
at
Jets,
the end of the
Jets
day-
are either going to 2 things are going to happen to the Jets. They're either going to get Aaron Rodgers or they're going to get Lamar Jackson. And I think if they get Rodgers, they don't get Jackson. And if they get Jackson, that means they didn't get Rodgers.
And if they get neither, they've just royally fucked up.
Yeah.
Mike motherfucking White.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
He's
with
free
them all
agent.
week.
He might not re-sign with them. He might go somewhere else. I could
That's
see Mike.
true, yeah.
I could see Mike White in Carolina. I could really see Mike White in Carolina.
Carolina will do that too, because David Tepper thinks just throwing money at anything
I mean,
that
Mike
moves is gonna
White,
fix
every
the
game
team.
he's played in where he's not dying of rib contusions, he's been great.
Yeah.
Like literally,
He's got to
he put
find
up
an
almost a
offensive line to
500-yard
protect him.
passing game last
I know
season.
you'd be forgiven for thinking that they used the 2nd overall pick in 2021 on Mike White.
On Mike White instead of
Yeah. The
Zach
motherfucker.
Milf,
in the
Zach
room
Milf
and Zach
Hunter
Wilson.
Wilson. Yeah. So I mean, the biggest issue is that the longer Rodgers persists about not knowing what to do, the longer it's going to be until the Packers can actually figure out what the fuck they're gonna do. Because
I feel like
if
the longer
Rodgers
it
leaves,
takes,
that means every older player is leaving that team.
Yeah, and
It
the
means
main
you
problem on that is that he's immunized to telling people what he's actually going to do. So so we have no idea what the hell's going to happen on that front.
It is
Knowing
gonna
him, he's
be-
probably just going to hold the
I
team
f-
hostage and then re-sign with them for a shit deal and then start
I
the
feel
whole
like
cycle
this
over again next.
this year though, I feel like the Packers are kind of just in that point of the longer he draws it out, the less likely he's going to get a chance to come back.
I think so too. There's got to be at some point where both the fan base and Goody think enough is enough and are just like, okay, dude.
It's like, yeah, the
You can't keep
GM's
doing
saying
this.
like
We're
we need to
moving
have
on.
this talk. We need to have this talk like now.
We need to move on while we still got Jordan Love under contract in case you do leave.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a weird.
I guess the real question would be if Rodgers leaves, can Love do it?
Yeah.
Not
we
right
know
away.
we know as much about Jordan Love as we know about Trey Lance.
I know. Like we've seen more of a
You know
smaller
more- you know
sample size
more
out of
of-
him than we've seen from like Trace McSorley as a Cardinal. So
But I mean, when he was put in as backup, put into a game, he didn't do bad.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that he doesn't get the reps with these starters. He's just kind of thrown in like, oh well, guess you got to go do it. He didn't do
jury is still
horrible.
out. Jury is definitely still out.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I think that's
I'd be okay with either one. I'm never gonna turn away from my Packers. So
I mean, I guess it could be worse. I mean, all the Bucks got are Kyle Trask, and he's even more unproven. So
I was literally born into the greatest time to be a Packer. So
yeah, you guys, your fan base.
I can. That's the thing with like my dad says. He goes, I went through like probably the worst portion of the Packers, and I've been a fan the entire time. I could take a couple bad years.
You think
I'm okay with it too. I'm okay with it.
No, you don't know bad years. As a man who watched a Andy Dalton led Bengals for a long time, I was used to mediocrity, buddy. Like
The 70s and 80s of the Packers.
Detroit fan comes in and be like, "What about
tell me
0-16?"
that, bro? Come on, how about the Bears? The Bears have been littered
Nobody
with
cares.
mediocrity.
You had 85. You had the 85 Bears. God granted you were
Excuse-
president in 85 and then took everything else away.
All right, fine.
had Ditka. You guys had
We
Ditka.
had Ditka. All right, fine.
Yeah.
This is when we need
Nah,
Detroit fan
Bears.
coming in.
Hey,
We need
Third-
Detroit fan
third
coming in
lar-
and be
third
like,
largest market
or at Tampa Bay
in the NFL.
Tampa.
Yeah. Wait, what?
No, when Lob said Tampa Bay for bad years, like maybe, but then it's like 02, and then I don't know.
They had an 16 year.
I
Tampa
feel
had
like
an 16
02
year,
is
though.
just more.
Well,
of a-
it was 0-14 because it was their first season and they got fucked over by the league. That was when they first came in.
02.
The
I
Bucks.
feel like you can benefit that to like this.
We haven't
Who
talked
was the
about
Raiders
the big
coach
moves
that year?
yet,
I feel like there is some truth to him sabotaging that Super Bowl.
Where am I high?
We talked about
You're
Carr.
high.
We talked
about Carr.
Lamar. We talked about Saquon Barkley.
Daniel Jones.
and
We
Daniel
barely talked about
Jones.
Rodgers.
We just
Just
We
did.
just
We
did.
just did.
Oh, I'm high.
There's not
Bro,
much
I'm
to
high.
talk about.
Sorry.
He hasn't talked. Rodgers hasn't talked. What are we supposed to
That
say?
is true. He's in.
I
he's in
think
his,
Rodgers will play football next year. Oh, how insightful, Nostradamus.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
He is in his darkness retreat.
You
so
also
it
got
doesn't-
you also
yeah,
got to
makes
watch
sense.
it.
he's
You guys
out
got to
of it
watch
now,
your
but he's
step.
just doing like verbal darkness. He's not saying anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not much more we
You
can
gotta watch what you
extract.
say, otherwise I'll be down
I mean,
like a
putting-
whole bottle of whiskey by the end of this.
watch us talk about this now. Then tomorrow he's gonna be like I'm just gonna sign with fucking Houston. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bro, watch,
It's not
watch
just
it be
darkness,
his.
it's a
just
bad
completely
story.
off
wa-
the
hold
rails.
on. Watch his darkness retreat just be putting those sleeping eye covers over his eyes. That's his darkness.
He's already done his
You're like a
darkness
fucking
retreat.
sleeping
They showed the
Uh.
picture of the cabin. It's in Montana. It looks like a hobbit hole. And it's like literally a bed. You turn the corner, there's a bathroom and a sink, like just in the wall. And then there's
Does
a
he not go
meditation
outside?
mat. No, the room has no windows. You close the door, and it has like something underneath the door, so it keeps it sealed shut. And if you were to open the door, you're out in the Minnesotan wilderness, like snow everywhere, like a grizzly bear could be right behind you. Like
Yeah,
you
I'm
just
surprised he
stand there.
hasn't been eaten by a bear yet.
I mean, he probably
That
there's a
is
lock
old.
on
I
the
didn't
door.
mind. You have
You
tables
don't
back
want. Wait. Have you seen the movie Cocaine Bear?
No, but I
So
want-
that's
so
where
wanna
the
see it.
cocaine's going.
Oh shit.
Over there. It all makes sense now. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
I think
Masters
Mastodon is
destroyed
gonna
again.
have to have a counseling session after this episode.
Oh,
yeah.
God, I can't wait to do NFC East next week.
Oh yeah. I
Oh
think
yes, baby.
Yeah.
You're gonna need
We'll
some more
do-
liquor for that one.
we'll do NFC East next week. But I think that wraps it up for this episode of the Football Stooges. It's been a fun one for myself, for Mastodon, for Mamba, for Gurlami, and for K-Duff. Enjoy football. Enjoy the week 4 of the XFL action. Enjoy some of the NFL offseason talk. Constantly be watching Schefter and the other NFL outlets' Twitter, because a lot of stuff could be happening. We'll make sure to cover it all. But please enjoy football, enjoy life, enjoy the weekend, run the damn
ball.
Exactly.
That's his line.
Throw the ball, motherfuckers.
Hope that's
Go
our
Cats.
Go fast.